What's going on? My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. Now, you can find me on all social media at I am Marcus Whitley and find any of my books, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences, Greatness Under Pressure, and Battling Demons, all on Amazon. Now, in today's episode, I have a special guest with me by the name of William Bolo Whitley. Now, he's the headmaster of the Taikido Karate System. Why don't you say what's up to the viewers?
How you doing? How you doing? Hush.
Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and a little bit about yourself?
Well, I go by Bolo. That's my main name. You can find me on YouTube under Full Force 007. You can also find me on TikTok under Full Force 007. And of course, Facebook under Bolo Whitley.
Okay, so all right, let's start off with, before we get into the Taikido system, how did you get the nickname Bolo?
All right, Bolo comes from back in the 70s. I'm going to give my age a little bit. They used to have karate movies around the city at the Allen and Cooley, Springfield Plaza, and the Jefferson Theater. Anyway, I was back in the bodybuilding at that time. You know, I was pretty big. And we were up there watching Into the Dragon. And when Bolo came on stage, you know, on the theater, somebody yelled out Whitley. So when he started doing that, every time he came up, everybody would yell out Whitley. So I go to school the next day, and then people started calling me Bolo, and it's been with me ever since. 1979.
Wow, okay. Now, let's get into it. So, what is Taikido?
All right, Taikido again is a concept meaning external energy, internal energy, the way the body and mind and spirit. Now, it started from my father. My father was taking he took karate and kung fu together. He took the concepts and theories of them and put them into his own fighting system. So Taikido is basically, like I said, it's the way of the body, mind, and spirit. And it's a system that's developed of energy. Like our main patch is our lightning bolt. And that describes the energy that we shoot through it. It's like when it hits things, it repels off and has that power. And we generate that out through our whole life, you know, everything we do. So, Taikido, it's a Japanese, it's not, I can't say Japanese, it's a combined art of different disciplines. I mean, we have boxing, wrestling, judo, karate, jiu-jitsu, everything's in there, you know, and we blend it all together and just use the concept of them. Because every school has, you know, punches, kicks, throws, and everything. But it's the concepts and theories behind them, you know, and that's where ours comes from.
Okay. Now, who was the founder of Taikido?
So my father started off. He trained with Master Kudo, which was a Japanese art karate, but he also studied with Mr. Wu, who was a Chinese art. And back then, a lot of schools were separate and different. So what he did is he combined them both together, the theories and concepts, and he put them together and started doing it. And then and from there, when he passed, I picked up and I continued to, with the wrestling, boxing, everything else. But every art, again, has all those. You just have to dig into it, and you'll find the resources that, pull them up.
Okay. So Taikido is a local form of martial art.
Yes, and it's original. We're the only one, fortunately, because I'm the founder. I'm the founder, not the founder, but I'm the head instructor now. So it's based here in Springfield, and that's where it's always been. And it becomes more of like a family, a clan, because most of the students I've had for over at least 30, 40 years, so they've been with me since. And when like I said, we're a family, not only in the dojo, but outside the dojo.
Okay. So what makes Taikido different from any other form of martial arts?
I think what really makes it different, again, is the bond that we have, because we train inside and out. And when we're inside the gym, I mean, everything we do, we're 110%. We've never used pads. Everything we do is full contact, and I've always been that way, So my students we have that same upbringing, that go get, drive. And a lot of schools I go to, they don't do that. They don't fight. They don't train the same. They don't fight the same. And they used to tell us that we were like what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it. A renegade school, because again, when everybody else was doing the point fight and everything else, we did low kicks, we grappled, we choked out. We were doing things before the UFC was even came around. So we've grown up doing that. And as time went on, it's funny to see that now schools are all doing the integrated training, and putting different disciplines inside their art.
Okay, so How would Taikido benefit someone's life other than knowing how to fight?
Well, I always say that again, it's a family that we have. So I mean, outside of it, we have it just gives you that drive and that determination to always push forward because of the way of our training goes through. I mean, we anything one of us do in the school, we're all doing it. And there's not one person that's above anybody else. I mean, I anything I ask my students to do, I do with them. Any of the instructors that ask them, we do it. So we're always there together. And a lot of schools respect that. Plus the fact that, like I said, I'm not way up here above them. I'm on the same level with them. So when we're in class, like I said, going outside, we have some that are mechanics, some are plumbers, electricians. So we utilize all those things together. We use them as a resource. And again, I think we're more of a clan and a family than a martial arts school. We just happen to be able to all be able to fight.
Okay, so let me see how does Taikido help people or help everybody who's trained it outside of just martial arts, like in everyday life?
In everyday life, I believe we have a thing called process and respond, OPR. All right, and that's what we do from day one. I mean, and what that is in class, we'll sit there, I'll show them a technique so they observe what's going on, and then we process, we'll put it together, and then we respond, we react to it. And it happens every day in life. I mean, when people eat food, they see what's on their plate, they process what they want, then they dig in. They go in the closet, the same thing. You go to work, if you're having a hassle, a hard day, or whatever, you observe what you're dealing with, whether it's the personality, whether it's whatever's happening, whatever the conflict is coming in. Then you process it in your head and you respond. So it helps you do that, and it gives you that discipline. Like I said, because when we fight for our promotions and when we train hard, the way we train, it puts everything on the floor, and it gives you that to carry it, outside. I've had students that I had one guy had two knee injuries where he had surgery, not because of class, but he's had surgery. But every day he was still right back up in the class, watching, because that same thing with the electric, lightning bolt. It's like that electricity. It gives you that energy and power. So that family, just being around them, gives you that drive to go forward. And like I said, on life, you're able to deal with, you learn to, sit back and just, again, process things that come in. And then in the discipline, we call it promotions. So if you're having a hard day at work or you're having a hard day with your partner, or whatever the case may be, instead of sitting there and ranting and raving, going back and forth, we settle back, we process it, and then we engage with it. And we'll call each other up later on and say, I just had to get a promotion here, and we sit there and laugh because we know that's a hard thing they had to go through that they accomplished. So it's just that, I think it's that inner drive that we all have, and everybody has it. Every one of my students have the same drive coming up.
Okay, so the promotions are just little accomplishments that make you feel good about yourself
And understand yourself, because my father used to always tell me to know yourself is to understand yourself. And you had asked me what makes us a lot different. Is a lot of times you'll go to schools and you'll watch them, and when you walk in, you'll see every school is identical to the instructor. So, I mean, whatever the way he walks, the way he talks, I've been teaching for over probably maybe close to 52 years, and you'll never find any two students of mine that are identical. I mean, I have twin brothers, and they're totally separate. So we all develop our own way, of utilizing the knowledge and the skills we get, and that's what makes it. That's another big difference we have with it.
okay. Now, I noticed you said that there's a lot of rules and codes and everything that different styles follow. What is your main rule or your motto of Taikido?
We have a model which pretty much explains what our system is, and they're called dojo cons. And ours, we have it's called it says my system is Taikido, the way of the body and the mind, the art of dodging, blocking, and countering. My body is my weapon. My mind is my guide. Together, my body and mind will show me the way. And we utilize that before every class. When we wake up in the morning, it's like a prayer we say. And again, it explains your system, and it just gives you that motivation. If we have fights going on, like we have boxers in the family or whatever, before each fight, we all get together and we do it again. We, just bonds us tighter together. And we have our code of honor, which we also follow, which it's a Buddha code, but every school has one. But ours is courage, the strength of moving forward, honor, to believe in yourself, loyalty, to give 110%, truthfulness, to be true to yourself, respect, to be polite and courteous. And that starts from the kids going all the way up.
Okay. Now, I remember when I was younger, there was one that I had to learn, which took a lot, but I feel like it helped me as I got older. But it was, you must first feel the pain to understand the technique.
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about that.
All right, that's one of our concepts we have also is to understand a technique, you must first feel the pain. And what that is a lot of times people throw techniques in, whether it's kicks, punches, or even in life, like you said, sometimes going to work and dealing with certain things, maybe the way you train somebody or the way you're trained, you're getting trained. What that says is somebody can sit there, and if I'm doing a joint lock on you and I'm breaking your arm, and putting you through pain, I want to understand what it feels like first, so I know, how much, I need to put into it. So I'm not sitting there trying to drill somebody's leg all the time. And when you do that, you understand the technique, what you're supposed to be doing, the way it's supposed to, how it feels. So you don't have to sit there trying to break somebody down. And the same thing, like I said, when you're going somewhere, like even in my job field, anything I've done, I've always got on the floor with my, if I'm running a floor, I worked in like hospitals, I worked in a prison, I worked on psych wards, residential programs. I'm always on the floor with with the team, with the staff. And it gives me a chance, like I said, so I see what they're going through. So it's easier for me to address the issues that are coming on versus sitting behind a desk. So, I mean, in life, that it goes the same way. Anything that you want to do, you want to understand, you want to receive it also before giving it out. Understand it totally.
Okay. Now, if anybody is interested in learning more about Taikido or would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Again, you can look me up on Facebook under Bolo Whitley, or you can go to my TikToks. I'm known for TikToks under Full Force 007. And I also have a page, again, on YouTube under Full Force 007. And I'm going to say this again. Ours is really reality. So when you go to school, you have to find the one that fits you, and a lot of times things have changed. People aren't as intense as they used to, and they start to break off that, things go through. We're always the same. And the reason behind it is because the minute I start to slack up on it or let somebody slide, it brings down the level of it. And I can't let what my father started, start to wither under. So if you are going to look me up and you're interested, make sure your heart's there, because you will be pushed, and that's just the way I am, and that's the way our school is. And that's what makes us, that bonding type thing. So anyone that goes through, they all been through the same thing, so that's what they can relate to. So if you're going up for your ranks and coming in, you're not getting up to the next rank until you've met somebody that, has been on that rank, and they have to welcome you into it, stating that, okay, they have the belief and confidence that you're on the same level they are, and that's the way, we go through it coming up.
Okay. Now, I hope this episode was able to help you learn a little bit about what the Taikido system is. Now, if you didn't know, this is also my father. And I thought this would be an important episode so the newer generations will understand Taikido. People who don't know about Taikido will learn about it. Now, again, I would like to thank my special guest, William Bolo Whitley. My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. So until the next...
I got one more thing. I know you just mentioned that you were my son, but that just triggered something else in me. A lot of people talk about lineage and legend, history and how things go down. I just want to state, the Gracies have their crew, but if you also look up the Fighting Whitleys, you'll see the history of how it trickles down through everything. And it's just, like you said, it's just not the martial arts. We have boxing that we utilize it in. We have fitness training, which you do yourself. We have football, which we use. We have gymnastics. So it can trickle off into everything. It's just, once you get the concept of things, it trickles right out into it. So I just wanted to put that out there too. Look up the Fighting Whitleys, and you'll see the whole history of us.
Okay. You heard what he said. Look it up if you want to learn all about our family and our history, because we've branched off into everything. Now, let's try this again. My name is Marcus Whitley. This is William Bolo Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. So until the next episode.